everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Betty. Today we're doing underappreciated, overappreciated and appropriately appreciated books, all from these shelves, which as you can see we've picked out a lot. There's a lot of gaps. We're ready, so let's get a cup of tea, get some hot chocolate, let's sit. So first, underappreciated. Now the first one in this series is one I've just read, and this is Belladonna. I was recommended this by a friend like months ago, and I put it off and I was like, oh yeah, I'll read it, like I don't really see the hype. Even like, this is a terrible thing, but the cover just didn't entice me. Like I didn't think it was my vibe. And then for Christmas she bought it for me and I was like, okay, now I've got no excuse. Sat down, opened it up, read it in 2 days. Across like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, like busy days, carved out time to read this book. So good. The main character Signa, fell in love with her. She was like the right side of, like, she had thoughts and feelings that like could have made her annoying, but they didn't. Like she overcame them quickly enough that I was like, okay, you're okay. Death, never expected Death to be on the book boyfriend list. Death is on the book boyfriend list. Like, yes. So this was amazing. The whole like construct of her like powers and stuff, like all of that, explained so well, not complicated, but really made you invested. And I won't spoil it, but as the story goes on, the way it develops is surprising, but not confused. Like I'm someone that can't take a really complex magical structure. It's not who I am. I want to understand it. I don't want to have to research or like take down notes. Like this one, simple but effective, like magic done well and uniquely. I've never read anything like this, and I don't know if there's anything out there like it. If there is, I'd love to read it, but very new, underappreciated. We need to be talking about this more. Next on the underappreciated, an older book, Rebel of the Sand series. Now this is one of the first books I read when I was getting into like romantistry, like years ago now, and blew me away, hooked me in. I'm still here. The first one, like it really builds well. It builds to an amazing like finale, and it gets more, not more complicated, but like the stakes get higher each book. Loved it. Both characters, like the more characters come into it as you go, but the relationship between the characters, like you root for the heroine. You're there for her. She had a tough life, like she's like a badass, she's got bullets and steel and like even her magic as well that comes into it, but it's not like magic. It's very different as well because it's got that like, it's not like, it's got that like, it talks about like the djinn, and it's amazing. And I don't see this talked about almost ever. When I first started posting on Bookstagram, this was like one of my first posts if you scroll right back on my account, and it just never really took off. And maybe that's because it was like a bit later, maybe it was too late to the party, but I think we need to come back to this. I think especially in today's book world, I think this would really do well. Next, we are moving on to appropriately appreciated books. These books, I feel like they've had hype, but it's well deserved, and maybe we could even hype them more, but I agree with the level of hype these books get. Starting off with the Twin Crowns series. Now I have both special editions of this series, which are stunning on their own, but again, something I read fairly early on in my like fantasy romantistry time, especially when I was like a bit younger. Loved them, would still read them now. Like both the couples, chef's kiss. Rose, Ren, two heroines you really root for. Their character arc across the series is incredible. Like you might often, I find that people that have read them like start liking one of the twins more. Like you're either like Team Rose or Team Ren, and by the end you love them both. By the end you're like, I love you both. Yes, I want to live your life. I want Shen. Like, yes. The magic is amazing. The world building is really good. You get to like, especially like towards the end of book 2, book 1, you're like, maybe I want like a new world, a new atmosphere. Book 3 comes in, you're like, boom. Book 3, you've got new things, new sights, new lands, new like plot twist that really good. In my eyes, really good. I think it gets a lot of hype because especially when the new editions of book 3 came out, I think it gets a lot of hype. I think it deserves a lot of hype. I think, yes, we need to hype this as much as we're hyping it. And I agree with all the great reviews. To me, across the series, I think they were all like 4 or 5 stars across the whole series. Then another series in this category, This Woven Kingdom. This Woven Kingdom, I've seen a lot about it, and I agree. Yes. Yeah, again, another recommendation from a friend, and was sort of putting it off. Read the first one, hooked. Literally went on Waterstones, ordered the next 2. I'm sat, I'm ready, let's go. Loved it. And this is the only series I've read from this author so far. I know that Shatter Me is like, everyone loves Shatter Me, like it's the big series. Haven't read it yet. It's on the TBR, it's on the TBR. Don't come for me. But it's definitely made me want to read more. I was sort of put off by the amount of Shatter Me, like the praise it got. I was like, that's a lot. It's probably overhyped. But this series is definitely either underhyped or appropriately hyped. I think it has had a lot of hype, but every book drew me in. I loved the characters. I felt like I was in the world. When I had to leave this world, I grieved. I grieved the end of this world. I was like, that's what it made me consider reading more from her. The only thing which isn't her fault is I am a reader, not an audiobook reader. I just can't process the information audibly. No shade to anyone who does. That does mean I can't pronounce anything in this book. The places, the names. I'm sure the people online that have told you how to pronounce them. I haven't seen them. Aliza, I don't know. Cameron. I don't know. Please correct me in the comments. But loved her. If I ever don't use a character's name, 9 times out of 10 it's because I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a common occurrence. When you read fantasy, you know the problem, okay? And then I'll pronounce it some way and I'll get someone being like, it's actually this way, and I'm like, please correct me. Please do. Please correct, because I don't know. In my head, they take on their, I don't even think I pronounce them in my head. I just read the words and I'm like, the letters, and they're becoming They just the first letter of their name, just A. Nickname it. Now we're moving on to a new category. Overhyped. And I think this is where we might get a bit controversial. I think these might be unpopular opinions. These are just my opinions. Don't come for me. Especially the second one. I feel like the second book I'm going to say is going to get some shade. First book, Uncharmed. Now, I will admit, I was heavily influenced into this book. I was in Waterstones getting a different book, and they had this stunning edition sat at the till, and I was like, I have to. And I've read Rewitched, and I loved Rewitched. Like, this is underhyped, like, loved Rewitched. So I thought Uncharmed, absolutely, beautiful edition, yes. Didn't draw me in. To the point where I DNF'd this. I did not finish the book. I think I got to chapter 10. I couldn't get through it. Something about I felt like it was well written, don't get me wrong, but the story was a bit too slow for my liking. I need the pace a bit faster, and I couldn't relate to the character. She was having thoughts. It was a lot of like telling, not showing, not to be like GCSE English, but I felt like I was being told what she thought, and I felt like I was having it forced, and I just couldn't relate to her. Maybe later on in the book, if I persevered, she got a bit more multifaceted, but I couldn't persevere. The vibes were there. The aesthetic, loved the aesthetic, the description, amazing. The character, the pace, that's where it lacked for me. So I don't know if it's overhyped, but like, Waterstones overhyped it, in my opinion. Waterstones marketing overhyped it. The next book I'm going to talk about, I think, is going to be an unpopular opinion. I'm just gonna bring it up. I'm just gonna. Daydream. It's not a bad book. And let me preface this with all of the other Hannah Grace books I love. Icebreaker, I have the special edition, loved it. And that got a lot of criticism. A lot of people don't like that now. I still like it. I think it's a good book. I like it. It's fluffy, it's nice, but Daydream, Daydream didn't do it for me. It wasn't a bad book, but I just felt like it got a lot of hype, and a lot of people I know who've read it like loved it. I didn't. They were good characters. It was a good story. Something about it just didn't. I don't know what about it. It wasn't a bad book, but it wasn't like 4 stars. Like, it was like 3 stars for me, which was disappointing because I'd loved other Hannah Grace books so much. I think because the characters in this are very different, and they're not worst, but I love like the fiery attitude that like Anastasia had, like that, the banter and sort of the bickering, contrasted by like, the golden retriever love side. Whereas this, they had a lot of emotional depth and they were good characters, but I missed that feisty banter that I trademarked Hannah Grace for. So it definitely wasn't a bad book, but it just wasn't up there, and I felt like it's gotten a lot of hype, and for me, it didn't have the hype that I hoped for it to have. So those are my overhyped, underhyped and appropriately hyped books. Please let me know if you agree or disagree, and also how to pronounce half of these people's names. Yeah, and have a great day and a great new year. Let's kick off 2026 in the best way.